I'm the biggest and the meanest.
Hello everyone and welcome to another Skyhammer build. This is a series where I recreate characters from Total War Warhammer 2 inside of the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. This time around we're recreating Grimgor Ironhide, Black Orc Warboss and complete utter badass! Like seriously, this dude is one of the greatest characters in the Warhammer world. He is just so cool. He is amazing. And this time we're doing things a little bit differently, because you can actually pretty much watch the entirety of the creation of his character. Obviously there's the Wednesday livestream where I streamed Total War Warhammer 2, and we had the initial introduction to the character. You got to see what he was like inside of that game, and the kind of rough ideas of where I could go with him in Skyrim. And then the following day I actually streamed the character in Skyrim, and basically made the entire build. I didn't intend to, but that's how it went. So I'll be leaving a link to that livestream in the description. If you want to check it out, just follow that link, and you'll be able to watch the entire creation of this character, who's much more focused on fun rather than power, because Grimgor's all about just smashing things in and having fun. So this build is going to be a short one. It's just going to be quick, to the point, perfect for if you just go, oh, you know what, I fancy like a weekend in Skyrim, just having a bit of a power fantasy. This is the build for you. Anyway, without me rambling on any further, let's get on to the skills. So we've actually only got 2 skills for this build. The first being Heavy Armour, wherein the only perk you'll be wanting to grab is Juggernaut, because you don't wear a helmet, so most of the strong perks are wasted, and speccing into Unarmed, yeah, really not needed. The other skill is Two-Handed, where of course you want Barbarian, just as many ranks of that as you can get. Champion Stance is great for reducing stamina costs when you power attack, and once you hit 50 in that skill, both Devastating Blow and Great Critical Charge will give you an option of a more powerful sprinting power attack and standing power attack. Now you may have noticed that's basically the entire section and it's very quick. That's because this is actually a level 8 build. Pretty much level 8 once I was done with it. Yeah, I want to reinforce very much, this is a character. It's not one of the builds where it's like, cool, I'm going to spend the next month playing this character and getting them up to the point where I need them. It's all about just jumping in and playing a little bit of Skyrim. A perfect build for those of you who want to go back and play the game as an interesting character, but don't want to dedicate, like, all of your time to it. I'm sure there's plenty of you who are pretty busy, so hopefully something simple will be good. But before we actually get to the point of you playing it, I need to go through some more stuff. When leveling with this character, you're going to want to go 2 points into health, 1 point into stamina, 2 points into health, 1 point into stamina, 2 points into health, 1 point into stamina. Just basically keep that going continuously. This ensures you get a decent pool of health and a little boost to stamina just to ensure you get a bit of extra sprinting. The odd power attack here and there can't be neglected. As for a Standing Stone, as this is a low-level build, and it's based around just 2 skills, go for the Warrior Stone, and those 2 skills will level up 20% faster. It's pretty simple, but it will make things easier. When it comes to powers, we do have a few interesting things though. First up is Berserker Rage, the Orcish racial power, which doubles your damage and halves how much damage you take. It is, oh god, it's so ridiculous. It is so ridiculous, and what is going to make this build quite powerful even early on. It's the best. Use it for any challenging fight you get into. It's pretty much a wah! Just that you can use once a day, and that reference only the Warhammer fans will get. However, on top of that we do have a couple of shouts. So first up is Dismay. The Dismay shout causes a fear effect, causing your enemies to flee. This is the same as what Malice had last time, and it's for the same reason. Grimgor causes fear. He's a big scary orc. Additionally, we have the Marked for Death shout, reducing kind of the effectiveness and sucking the life out of an enemy. This is similar to Grimgor's main ability. It's a bit of a debuff for Lords, and I figured this was the closest thing we could get inside of Skyrim, so I figured Marked for Death as well. You only really need 1 word of each of these, they're just little boosts to your power, so kill a couple of dragons early on and you'll be okay. On to equipment now, and we start with the legendary battle axe Wolfrat. This is acquired at the very end of the companion storyline, so it might take you a little bit to get, but honestly the companion storyline is pretty easy. To be fair, I was playing far too low a difficulty on the live stream, lower than I thought I was, but pretty much all of the difficult companion missions, you get one of them as a follower, so yeah, you can get them to do the brunt of the work for you. This battle axe isn't the best late game, because you can't improve it with smithing, so it often falls behind. However, early on it's got high damage, it does a bit of bonus damage to elves, it's a pretty solid choice, and will be stronger than anything else you'll find within the first hour or two of the game. Wow, I was expecting to say something more than that, but no, it's decent enough. I basically picked it because it was the closest aesthetically I could get to Gitsnick. As for the armour, we're really weak on that as well. We had to go for aesthetics, so banded iron armour, iron gauntlets, and iron boots. This is all big, clunky and metallic, exactly this kind of stuff that Grimgor wears, but it's not particularly strong. Do keep an eye out for anything with Fortify two-handed, Fortify health, Fortify heavy armour, and Fortify stamina if you really need it. Other than that though, just good luck with the armour. If you do stick with this build for a little bit longer, you could potentially try and get the Iron Hand gauntlets. They're a decent enough upgrade, I suppose, without destroying the aesthetic too much, but to really look authentic, just go with the iron stuff. As for factions, there's only one you need to join, and it's already been mentioned, the Companions. You'll need to join them in order to get Woothred, and they are kind of a melee-focused faction, so it kind of fits with Grimgor. Admittedly, he'd probably just want to kill them all, but you can join them for a little bit. Do keep in mind, Grimgor is not a werewolf, so once you get blessed with the gift of becoming a werewolf, make sure to get rid of that at the end of the quest line. Other than that though, Grimgor's not too much of a faction guy. Go around, beat everyone, show them you're the best. As you are the best, this also means you won't really be using followers all that much. Admittedly, the Companions will stick with you and you can't really stop them for a lot of the quests, but outside of that, generally go solo. If you do want to follow though, feel free to head to one of the Orc strongholds and pick someone up from there. Gameplay and playstyle with this build is fairly straightforward, as you're a 2-skill character. You basically charge in, you hit stuff, you try and kill it before it kills you. As for some tips, the biggest one I can give you is as a two-handed character, use the reach of your weapon in order to kill your enemies before they get to you. Like seriously, if you saw the livestream, I was constantly just swinging my axe at enemies as they charged up, and if you can get the length right, then you're sorted. That's the best tip I can give you. I'd also recommend with this character playing on a lower difficulty. For clarity, the livestream I did was on Novice difficulty. I thought I was on Adept because I'm an idiot who managed to mix up in their head Adept and Novice difficulties. However, I have tested this character after the stream, and on Adept, it does fine. On the standard difficulty, it's fine, it's not overpowered, but it's still pretty solid, and you can charge in and do stuff. Just make sure to give yourself a fair number of potions, pick them up as you go along, you'll be fine. I did also try it on Expert and Master. Master is a real challenge. If you want a challenge, go for it. Expert is fairly difficult, but still manageable. You have to think smart about which fights you're going to go for, and try and not let yourself get ganged up on. Other than that though, should be fine. Just use this as a power trip. Not every build needs to be taken on the highest difficulty. Just go for a bit of fun. Just a quick bit of fun. Grimgor had beat everyone. All the Orc tribes had flocked to his banner, and the surrounding lands were razed or conquered. It had all been too easy, and he'd ended up with nothing to do. It was time to find a new fight, one that would be a real challenge. In his final fights, he'd barely even been able to get a proper scrap in, the rest of his hordes all rushing ahead and tearing apart the enemies, making everything just too easy. If he was going to have a proper fight, then it would need to be on his own and somewhere far away. Grabbing his axe, he told one of his warbosses to keep things in check and headed far away, knowing that there was a land out there just waiting to be sacked and raided. If he was really lucky, then maybe he'd be betrayed when he came back, and be able to beat up all the orcs again. Now that would be a fun fight. And there we have it, a simple backstory for a simple character. I've done this build very differently to basically any other one I've done. Not only is it a part of the Skyhammer Challenge series, but I'm also doing this on notes rather than a script, so I'm not reading everything word for word, as you may have been able to tell. This was a basically novice level playthrough I did, of just a very start, it's an early level build. I am genuinely very curious to see what the reaction to this is. Do let me know if you liked it. If you didn't like it, you are allowed to dislike. That's how this works as a challenge series. If you're like, no Sarge, should have made a high level build, you're fully entitled to dislike, and tell me off for stuttering and all of that good stuff. That is fine. If you are enjoying this series though and want it to keep going on, please do watch the stream on Wednesday. On that stream, we'll be deciding who the next character I make is. It's a choice out of basically all the legendary lords within Total War Warhammer 2, so if you're a Warhammer fan and have played Total War Warhammer 2, please do show up, because we're burning through the easy ones straight away. I'd love to do a few of the harder ones, but they've also got to be viable, and I need a lot of help with all of that. Additionally, next week I will have a Fallout rant video coming out. That will be fun, won't it? So any Fallout fans who want to hear me just grumble about something, stay tuned for that. Please do subscribe to keep watching episodes in this series, hit the like button, hit the notification bell, it might work. Better yet, join the Discord server or follow me on Twitter at BadCompanySarge, and you've got a much better chance of actually watching my content. As always though, thank you all for watching. Sarge out.